Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Welcome to another edition of the Sci-Fi Center Presents. It's a semi-overnighter. Main topic tonight is going to be vampire movies, but we can sprinkle in just about anything else we want to, as we usually do. So let's go ahead and say hi to the chat. How you doing, Brad? Clinton, there we go. Nobody's done Blame Brad yet, so something is wrong with StreamYards again.
But we're doing that. How's it going, Heather? You are definitely a newbie as far as I'm aware, so welcome to Sci-Fi Center.
She's listening on Facebook.
Facebook. Yeah, that's pretty new. I this is the last couple of nights is the first time I've seen in the chat people
here we go.
Tuning in from Facebook. So
this went out for all the newbies.
And here we go. Oh, well, you forgot to hashtag it, man, so it doesn't count.
All right, tonight's show is going to be about vampire movies. Obviously, you guys know I'm a big horror fan, and I've expressed I have a handful of ones that are my go-tos. My favorite vampire movie, believe it or not, is 30 Days of Night. I'm going to go right off the top and just give you that one.
No, that is a good one, and that's I'm sure you got it on the shelf and in the Sci-Fi Center because of course that has of course that's what Steve denied or Steve who wrote that? Steven who was the writer of the original book?
I can't remember. It was it was several comic book series. I forgot.
Yeah.
I got it and its horrible sequel on my shelf as well. By the way, the sequel that it's based on in the book is way better than that movie.
Steve Niles.
Yeah, it has a sequel it actually has a comic, but still but it's not that what they gave you in that sequel was not good at all.
Yeah, well, the first movie is pretty awesome though.
Well, the first movie is everything you need to have. No romance, just killing.
Yeah, well, and he has said Stephen Niles has said that that was his kind of his mandate when he did 30 Days of Night was he wanted to kind of strip vampires down to their essence about being just they're basically just like these ravenous creatures that are just out for our blood. They took away the elements of like the romantic elements and the other kind of supernatural lore to it, and he really just made them into killing machines, which just like rows full of teeth as you've seen 30 Days of Night.
Yeah, and it's just, the comic is not as savage as the movie. The movie has a lot more dialogue and the comic book has a lot more dialogue the character that's in the movie, Warlord, he's actually a composite of two different characters, so he takes some liberties, but they do it in the right way, and it's all that blood on that beautiful white snow. It's so pretty, and they just don't bite. Ripping out larynx is when they bite you, they gore you.
When they bite you, they take out the whole side of your neck. I mean, it's like you're done.
Welcome to Barrow, top of the world.
And of course, that's what made that whole premise. That's what made the whole premise made it so perfect for a vampire, for a vampire story because it's 30 Days of Night. They're in Alaska where they've got long extended periods of darkness. So 30 Days of Night.
Go ahead and keep talking. I've been having some issues with my sound, so I made some adjustments. So I'm gonna go away.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check out some other people in the chat here. My favorite vampire-like movie is Doctor Sleep. Doctor Sleep is really good. I'll probably call that. My favorite, Blade. We will definitely be getting into Blade when we're talking about vampires. Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. I can't tell if you're pulling my leg or not there, Chappie. I mean, they definitely had a presence on the vampire landscape, but and they were very much the opposite of 30 Days of Night. They were all about the romance. Okay, it's I don't know if you want this stopping it for a while. I can say for a second, my favorite vampire films are Fright Night and the Seven Dracula films Christopher Lee did with him. Yeah, those are he had quite a history as Dracula. So And no, are you talking about the original or the one with
I
with
think he's
Colin
talking
Farrell?
about
The one with Dave Tennant and Colin Farrell? That wasn't bad actually.
how do I sound? Can you guys let me know how I sound? I'm trying to
It
fix this
sounded good to
stupid.
me. Sounded good to me.
Yeah, that echo. I put on echo cancellation, so I'm hoping that works. Hold on for a second.
Azteca. This is from Dust Till Dawn, Dracula 1992, Daybreakers, John Carpenter's Vampires, Fright Night, Innocent Blood. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of vampire. Okay, though, but we're definitely gonna because I have some, I have definitely have thoughts on Bram Stoker's Dracula. I'll bring up as we get into that tonight.
Oh, that's on my list too. That's the antithesis of 30 Days of Nights, but it's still beautiful. It is.
Yeah, it is, but it's like but it doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Why? What doesn't make sense?
Oh, it's just so well. I mean, part of it is maybe it's just the fact that it is a very non-linear kind of story. I mean, just in terms of the storytelling, it's very it's kind of
Not
all over
linear.
but it's got so many things in it. Like I mean, like right at the beginning, like when he stabs the cross with the sword and the cross bleeds. I mean, that's like something. I mean that I like what the hell's going on with that? It's like
Well, it was supposed to be the Ottoman Turkish War and everything else, and that's where when he lost his love, he cursed God, and the vampirism was the curse for denouncing God. That's what the whole thing in the blood. That was symbolism, is what that was.
I get that, but it's like they took the symbolism and made it literal in that scene.
Oh, the whole movie. I mean, look what they did with the impaling. Look what they did with everything in that movie. That movie is over the top.
Oh yeah,
it's done in Francis Ford Coppola way though.
It's like I don't. I mean, I've seldom seen like vampire movie that the term bloodbath is more applicable to than Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Lucy, when she spits all that blood at the cross.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
Great, man. That movie's one of my favorite Francis Ford Coppola movies. Not up there in the Godfather level, but like I said, all the performances, Keanu Reeves was in there. I think that's where he got his more immortality.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's not regarded as one of his better moments with as far as like the British accent. But I mean, come on, you can't be bad at Keanu.
Nah, I think he should have just went with an American accent.
I think so too. Yeah.
Kevin Costner, he's supposed to be fucking Robin of Locksley, is talking like he's from Illinois.
Make an effort, yeah.
He didn't even care, and it didn't hurt his movie. So people were like,
Well, and that's what Carrie Elway's and Robin Hood Men in Tights. He has a joke about that. It's like because some like other Robin Hoods, like I could speak with a British accent.
Yeah, I mean, that movie made a lot of money too for what it was. I'm like, okay, I didn't go see it, but women at that time, Kevin Costner was the it man. So yeah,
yeah, but
30 Days with Nights it's like I said, and that the one the main villain, the way the eyes, the blood, the 8-ball pupils in their eyes and their teeth, and it's just. In the one scene where the guy, she's screaming, screaming for God, and he's like looking around. It's like, no God. It's like, and then all those people, and they're just the way they're bounding on the rooftops, and they're just moving like animals. But if you read the book or if you read the comic, it's basically a cargo. That's what they do. They go all over the north, and places like that.
Where there's going to be extended periods of darkness because then you don't have the advantage for this just waiting it out until the sun comes up.
Yeah, and the Slavic that language, that Cyrillic language that they were speaking was cool because they go back way back. They've been around forever, and I remember him saying, "Kill them, but don't turn them. We don't want to have to share the food." It's like, wow, this is shit. But
yeah, so 30 Days of Night. Yeah, definitely. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I did like it a lot when it came out. And let's see, Christopher Lee was the best vampire in my opinion.
Christopher Lee had a good run with the Hammer movies.
Yeah, well, like who was it? It was H Bart's 100. Just brought that up a little bit ago. Francis Ford Coppola Dracula was great. Yeah, it's just very surreal to me. It's kind of reminds me of like the Ang Lee Hulk of vampire movies.
Oh no, no, I wouldn't go that far. That Ang Lee, that movie wasn't horrible. It just wasn't great. It just wasn't what But to be honest with you, the Thor and the Hulk are probably the weakest characters on their own.
Yeah. Well, the Hulk. I mean, especially because because his whole concept is he gets mad, and he smashes stuff. So it's like you have to kind of find when he's on his own, it's kind of hard to get that out of control. So yeah, when he's with the Avengers, then it's a lot easier to regret that. But yeah, when I compare it to the Ang Lee Hulk, I'm talking about just the the artistic. I mean, just how much of the auteurist stamp that the director puts on it, and just like a lot of the very the the very explicit kind of stylistic choices that each of them make. I mean, it's whether they work or not for you. I mean, it's up to everybody individually, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm getting at when I talk about the comparison to the Ang Lee Hulk.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Ang Lee fan in general. I mean, I hear a lot about him, and I don't hate his movies, but it's not like his work doesn't strike like, oh wow, where's my wallet? I gotta go type of feel to it. It just never has. And he's not a bad. I mean, the Academy Award winning level director. He just doesn't. There are just some directors whose stuff doesn't appeal to me, and then some that do, and some that even when the movie isn't great, their signature style overwhelms it. But Ang Lee has always been like, okay. He won't keep me from the theater, but he's not going to compel me to go either.
Yeah, I can feel you on that. I mean, it's probably like my. I mean, obviously, everybody kind of. Probably the thing people most closely associate with him, of course, is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. But that's I think for a lot of people, he has been a little bit hit and miss in the his more recent stuff. Let's see what else we got. I did enjoy him, and I actually got to interview the stunt coordinator, Reinhardt, Mr. Chris Brewster. He was a pretty awesome guy. But yeah, that was
that movie was better than I had any business thinking it was going to be.
Yeah, she was kind of. It was
I
pretty
actually
well
thought
done.
that movie was when I heard about this, I'm like, okay, Nicolas Cage, I'm glad you're still getting work. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is going to suck. And I saw the trailers. The trailers didn't do all that much for it. But I saw it. It actually wasn't a bad movie. It's not really a comedy either. But not really, and it's very brutal.
Oh yeah.
And I love that universe. I love the way it opens up. That was kind of cool, and I'm glad because it's Universal that owns that that version, that Dracula that you got to see. That's kind of cool. But I actually like that movie.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah,
I didn't have high expectations for it.
How's it going, Hal Jordan?
Yes, please like and subscribe. Here we go.
How's it going, Droga?
Perfectly covering up myself and Brad there.
Yeah, he's on. We're calling us silly and sad. So okay.
That's because he's drunk. As he mixes. Hey, you guys get to mix your own alcohol down there? No, I'm just kidding.
In Mayan Aztec mythology, there is a bat god named Kamazotz or Kamazatz. I see Robert Rodriguez did somewhere right. Yeah, kind of that element to the film. You're talking about From Dusk Till Dawn, right? Okay, yeah.
They're right here. That scene right there.
Oh, that's Danny Houston right there.
Yeah.
That's so representative of the vampires in 30 Days of Night, because that's what they when they go for your jugular, it's like that's what they. I mean, that's the amount of.
Look at his mouth.
Like, yeah, it's yeah.
And there's another one. There's then there's but the way the comic is drawn is like abstract paintwork. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's more like this than anything, but you get to that's why when I saw them make the adaptation of it, and there's a book on the barrel.
Yeah, but the movie in terms of the like bloodletting, it's like Kill Bill with vampires.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Like I said, that tapestry of snow and all that blood. Oh yeah. Oh, it's a great movie. That's why it's my favorite.
Yeah, well, that does benefit it very well as far as a vampire movie too, because I mean, because the blood, you contrast with the snow very well. How's it going, Aaron?
You knew you were screwed. How you doing, Aaron?
I'm not drunk. I'm just eating gingerbread man. Okay.
Probably laced with
Yeah. Do they have any? Yeah, they have the edibles inside of them or something.
The magic drink. Are they talking to you while you're eating them?
I see. I have not. No.
I did. Okay. I saw it. I actually thought it was animation at first, and I saw your name on it.
Okay, yeah, I must have missed that, so I'll check that on your Twitter, man.
Brad neglecting you.
How's it going, Ruth?
Hi, Ruth. Speaking of blood and killing on the
she's driving to London today. Oh, so that's actually a little bit of a drive from where you are, isn't it?
Hey, say hi to the people in the trunk for me. Yes.
We wish we wish Ruth well best on her quote unquote recovery.
Yeah, and her trip.
They don't even look like vampires with almost alien faces when they turn 30 days of night. Yeah, that's kind of the point.
Well, what? Okay, that all depends because if you look at my thumbnail, there's a lot of different types of vampires. You got Nosferatu, you got Dracula from Francis Ford Coppola. You got Lost Boys by Dracula. You got Bela Lugosi Dracula. I mean Gary Oldman. I mean you got a lot of different. That's why I brought up the topic because we've had 122 years of vampire films, with the very first being Nosferatu in 1922. So over a century, and in that time, we've had a lot of different interpretations of Dracula, a lot of different interpretations of vampires. So it's really a wide open topic.
I mean, you could do we could do just an entire scene just on different interpretations of Dracula alone. But like I was saying, I mean, like with Bram Stoker, I mean, there's so much imagery in that movie that looks like it could have been pulled right out of The Crow. I mean, things like the bleeding cross and all that.
Well, like I said, the bleeding cross was metaphorical to.
Yeah.
I got that because it was.
I get what it represents. It's just they took what it represents and like made it literal in that scene.
I think that's I think that's what makes it cool is because the blood is. Remember, said the blood is life.
The blood is life, and he puts he drinks from the chalice the blood, and that's where the curse of Dracula. I mean, the curse is the way the movie portrays it is like the curse is really kind of more of a voluntary curse. I mean, it's not even a curse so much as it's just him. It's his renunciation of his faith after losing Mina in the. Oh, and yet, like we said, it's like. I don't think I've seen a Dracula movie that really emphasizes the influence of Vlad the Impaler as much as. I mean, the opening of it, it's like him just shoving spears through guys' torsos.
Yeah, and then he is when he's eating and you just see them like going down slowly as they're grabbing their thing. Like, it was great. Another movie, and I've shown this movie a bunch of times at the store is Blackula. Blackula was I should have put that on it's Black History Month. Black guy doesn't put Blackula on his vampire movie. I have failed. But Blackula was a classic, and it was basically obviously the interpretation of it wasn't an interpretation making Dracula black. Basically, for those of you who haven't seen Blackula, wow, come on now.
That includes me.
Oh, what the hell, Brad? Anyway, okay, so Prince Mwambi goes to visit Count Dracula. He doesn't know he's a regular vampire, even though, hey, why are we having this dinner at night? What an odd time, but okay. Late at night, he goes to him because they're talking about shipping routes and everything else. And Blackula is, there also to renounce slavery, the slave trade, because he does, part of his, he doesn't want that, obviously for obvious reasons. And the Count, because it's a blaxploitation movie, obviously Dracula is a racist. And he starts defending slavery and the merits of slavery, and then he gets in a fight with the actual Blackula's guy. He gets in a fight with Dracula, and Dracula beats him, and then he curses him with immortality, and he locks his wife up to grow old and die. And so he comes back in modern times, in 1970s, and he's looking. He comes back. He wakes up and he's looking for his bride. He realizes what's happened to him, and obviously, just like in Dracula, he fixates on a woman that looks like his lost love, and of course, then he starts killing. It's blaxploitation at its best. Everything you could think that we were going through at the time. Cops are dumb and bad. They weren't very friendly towards homosexuals either. Some of the terminology that they used in Blackula, you could not do today. In fact, I actually saw Blackula on a channel one time, and they blinked that out. They actually because they use the F word in regards to gay people, because Blackula is one of his first victims is a gay dude that's at a disco, and then the cops were like, "Well, who cares about a dead blank?" And I'm like, "Wow." But you had to understand the time which that movie was being made. We just broken through as filmmakers, and we had some issues. And it took place in I think Blackula was filmed in L.A. a lot. It's like right after the riots, so it was like and all those movies, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Jive, but Blackula and Scream, Blackula, Scream were the preeminent ones, and they were actually well done. But it was a vampire movie, and I think, like I said, the older Blackula ages, even though obviously socially it's not correct, but it's more of a classic to me because it's a true vampire movie. But yeah, Blackula should have been on my thumbnail.
Starts with F, ends with T.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that. In fact, that's what that one gentleman was typing in the comments a few nights ago that we had to time him out for.
Yeah.
Over the WWE controversy. We don't talk about that guy anymore. I just I checked the draw. You just sent me the Superman. That was a good one, man. So I just saw your Superman illustration you mentioned that William had seen. So thank you for checking that. It was pretty. That's a pretty good one. Another great one from Droga. You guys haven't seen that? Aaron says there's a really awesome Australian vampire movie called Daybreakers. If you haven't seen it, you should.
I've seen that. Yes, I've seen Daybreakers. I didn't know it was Australian though.
Okay, yeah, I haven't either. So I'll look that one up. Okay. Oh, I was waiting for somebody to bring this one up because this actually was a pretty cool concept for like Dracula's origin. Dracula 2000 had a very interesting spin on the backstory of Dracula being Judas, and goes in depth explaining that Dracula's, aka Judas, hatred of silver, the crucifix, and blood. Yeah, I thought that was actually a pretty cool way to reinvent Dracula. The idea that he was Judas.
That was Carpenter, right?
No, that was not Carpenter. Who was? Let me look.
Which one did Dracula? Which one did Carpenter do?
Was
Carpenter did vampires.
Yeah, vampires. Yeah, but yeah, the idea behind that was that was a cool way to say it. So it gives Judas, and for the portrayal of Jesus, his curse is the eternal is the curse of vampirism, which is like, yeah, it's eternal life in a sense, but also it comes with all these the price of having to avoid sunlight and garlic and silver and feeding off of blood. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. Reinvention.
Movie, The Seventh Sign, where that was cursed too. The guy who stuck the spear into Jesus, he was cursed having to walk the earth forever and so he was trying to bring out the end days so that he could escape it.
Yeah. Okay. What the hell is this one right here? Should I pull this up?
We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get rid of that person. Hold on, I got it.
Somebody's trying to sell us something in there. Yeah. I don't know what the hell that is, but it's like, I guess we're making it. If we're getting to this, we got people coming into the chat and stuff like that.
What is that? First, it wasn't even in English. It wasn't in some kind of different language.
Yeah, it looked like Sanskrit or something maybe. John Carr. Yes, it was.
Yeah, John Carr from Grandfather's. That's very good.
They'll send the. Now I'm going to actually kind of poke the bear a little bit here because this is vampirism, but it's also comedy. Is Dracula Dead and Loving It?
That movie was horrible. That movie was horrible. Leslie Nielsen, rest in peace. But that movie was...
No, I like Dracula Dead and Loving It a lot. So I saw that on when they.
I love that movie, man.
I saw that when they did on TBS. They had the whole thing about dinner in a movie. So I saw that one Friday night.
I remember that,
yeah. So that's and they were making this thing called Nosferatu tuna melts. It was the kind of the accompanying theme thing, whatever the movie was being shown. And so that's when I first saw it. It's like I laughed my ass off at that.
You know what? A movie that is a comedy that's not bad as far as Vampire in Brooklyn.
I have not seen it. I have not seen it.
You haven't seen that one? Eddie Murphy, yeah.
I know of it, but I haven't seen it. But Dracula.
My favorite part of that when he's in the church and he starts to burn up. He's like, God damn. I mean, he's a priest and he's taking the shape of a priest and he's cussing.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, whatever. That movie is horrible. And he's like, it's hot as hell in here. And then he takes the service outside, so he stops burning. It's funny. But not Dracula.
Listen, yeah. And it's also weird to me. He never played Bill Clinton in his whole career. Come on.
He looks like
I think he could have played Bill Clinton. I think I got to see, but I do have a good line. That was Mel Brooks. I mean, obviously, because you make the connection with that with Young Frankenstein, but yeah, I did enjoy Dracula Dead and Loving It quite a lot. I mean, just like the one part with Peter McNichol as Renfield, and he's at the he's having the lunch with the one guy, and he keeps like bugs, because he's that's his the curse that Dracula's put him under. It's like, okay, you feed on bugs now, and there's he spots a beetle and picks it up, puts it, and there's like a grasshopper with one leg sticking out. And he sees one on the ground. He just picks up his fork and throws it like, oh, drop my fork. It's like they dropped it. You flung it.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Hey, it could have been Good Burger I brought up.
Well, that's not a vampire movie. So.
Who else? Eddie Murphy. He wasn't that funny in that movie. Well,
the movie itself was, though. He really, be honest with you, you're not really his movies. You're not really going for the comedy in his movies. I mean, he's funny in some of them, but Coming to America, I didn't think he was funny in that, but the movie was all right. I mean, it's like I only need Eddie Murphy to be funny when he was doing his old stand-up routine, which he doesn't do anymore. He's gotten so soft, he doesn't do those. Eddie Murphy Raw was like Chris Rock and David Chappelle before they started doing it. But once he started making movies, he just kind of became an actor.
Yeah. Leslie Nielsen was okay. No, he did have some real stinkers. So like that, what was that one he did? There was the spoof of The Fugitive. Wrongfully, that one was. He was in a couple of the Scary Movie ones. I loathe the Scary Movie franchise. I hate every single one of them.
Damn.
No,
I'm
not. Yeah, none of them have vampires in it. I mean, but that wouldn't have made it any better.
Some fool. We got the spear out here. The spear. This fool climbed to the top of it. I'm looking at it right now. This fucking clown. They had to rescue him.
Let's see. Chappie says Dracula 2000 is good, but it had a very troubled production, mostly due with the Weinstein brothers asking for something to rewrite the reshoots. Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't the only thing that Harvey Weinstein was pursuing in the middle of that, but yeah, it's that guy's history. So
the guy made it to the top of the spear. How do you even climb that? Oh, I see how he's doing it. He's hanging on to the LEDs. All that money that they put in. Oh, and there's a little ladder on there. I'll be damned. Still shouldn't have been able to get up that high. I mean, he's at the top of this thing. Sorry to shoot. I'm just looking at this. I live here in this city. We pass this thing every day. I never imagined some bull climbing that. Oh, now he's in jail. All right.
Probably, yeah.
See who always
I remember seeing that Vampire Hunter on Cartoon Network. They did like an anime marathon. This is when anime was like kind of first making inroads in the West. So they did that. They did something else. They did Twilight of the Cockroaches. Vampire Hunter. It's like I saw like the first half hour of that. That scared the shit out of me because it's.
I remember Vampire Hunter. Yeah, I bet on VHS at the store. Believe it or not.
Yeah, it's obviously it's a horror anime, and anime itself was so alien to me at that point. So it's like that combo like really just freaked me out. I was like 7 or 8 years old.
That's pretty graphic for a cartoon too.
Oh hell yeah!
It's not our kind of cartoon. It's anime. So.
Yeah, it's anime. It's like they don't. If it's
you want to watch some shit that shouldn't be.
What's that?
Or Ratsudoji. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. For those of you anime in there, correct me, but I actually had that on VHS. Somebody brought it into me. Say, hey William, you like Robotech, you like Macross. I'm like, yeah, I love that shit. He's like, why don't you watch this? And I watch it. And I'm like, whoa, dude. There's literally a scene where this robot with tentacles just has its way with a woman in very graphic form, and for that time, I'm like, this is what you guys are watching of it. And then he told me, oh, that's like mild, man. Wait till you go to Tokyo and see some of the stuff that's actually from Japan. I'm like, holy shit. That stuff was like, I mean, then you see the anime that we get here because, like I said, I'm loading up a little bit more and more in anime each day, and I'm like, some of the stuff is brutal, man. I mean, mine was limited to like I said, Trigun and Ghost in the Shell, but some of that shit's pretty out there, man.
Yeah, I mean, obviously my big one is Alita, but I mean, and that's got definitely plenty of gore itself. So, okay, I've ruffled some feathers. Obviously, Scary Movie 4 was amazing, and
Oh, I didn't make it to that one, so
no, guys, I'm sorry. It's like if you want to die in that hill, have at it. But it's like the Scary Movie franchise is just fucking garbage. I mean, it's like every single one of them is so. It's kind of what I was saying the other night when I told William, it's my tastes in comedy have evolved where I use the shorthand of I don't think I would be. I like The Hangover a lot at the time it came out, but I don't know if I would be as big on it if it came out for the first time today because I mean, just that lowbrow humor is just I'm just seeking when I laugh, I want it to be for something a little bit more sophisticated and a little bit with a little more of a sense of like comedic coordination. And it's like they're just no. I'm sorry, but you're all mistaken.
Like I told you, the first one they stopped it. They stopped filming it so that they could add the bullet cam scene in there. Remember that?
Yeah, and that didn't add anything to it because like I didn't realize that Matrix was a scary movie, and that was the other problem with that franchise is they started shoehorning in stuff that didn't like the third one, 8 Mile. Was that a scary movie? I didn't realize that was a scary movie. No, you're all mistaken. They all suck. Every single one of them sucks. I'm sorry. This is not a difference of opinion. You were factually mistaken here.
Brad, so close-minded.
Yes. Aaron said vampires suck is the scary and vampires sucks.
Oh, I remember that
because that was made by those two idiots that did like epic movie and disaster movie and Meet the Spartans. And those are 10 times worse than scary movie franchise. I have no idea how those guys became filmmakers because they have not.
Oh, look at basketball! Come on, man. People, Dude, Where's My Cars? I mean, somebody made those movies. This thing's distracting.
Scary Movie 1 was good. Okay, we're not making this. We're talking about vampires. We're not going to make this all about you guys.
You guys are
scary movie injections.
You guys are pissed Brad off.
Yeah, because I'm not going to be.
I thought I was the one that ruffled under the feathers.
Droga points out Peter Safran produced Meet the Spartans.
I don't think he's joking.
No, he's right. That's
I think he did.
Yeah. Well, I won't hold that against him.
By the way, off topic of something you sent to me in an email today. Just
Oh yeah, it was about some of the stock situation with Warner Bros. Discovery, which is still not looking good. In fact, it's looking worse by the day with each.
It's $9.70.
So what was it at like 6 months ago?
$2. Well, I don't know. 6 months ago, it was only about the highest it's reached was about $13-14 since the merger. So
okay, so that's not good. So
it was at $10.40 a day ago, and it went down to $9.70. So it's under $10 a share, which is, like I said, a good time to buy. It's a good time to buy, but here's the thing: when we before we get back to our
vampire discussion, not our scary movie discussion, okay? Because I'm putting that railroad spike in there. Scary movie, the whole franchise is shit, guys. I'm sorry, it's true.
Any where Warner Brothers goes, I don't think enough people are paying attention to this right here. They're paying attention to a lot of other things like production, but I wonder how long this is going to stay under $10 before some people start getting nervous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is
like okay. This has been quite a while now because I don't know. Like I said, it's you sent me that today, and then I got the email from somebody else, because like a lot of people are selling because of that, and some people are buying too because I don't know if it drops even lower than that, it's going to be like, I wonder how long the power structure stays in place with the stock price being like that.
And of course, we kind of gave more in-depth thoughts like 2 weeks ago on that, so we don't want to totally monopolize the stream about that. But pretty much everything we said there, still stands now. It's just that now we got more data showing that
it's $2 less than it was when we talked.
Yeah, so that's not good. No, it's not. No, they all suck. This whole spoof movie plague, they all are terrible. I'm sorry, guys. No, you will not talk me out of this, guys. We have not had a good spoof movie in like God knows how long. Because it all started with Scary Movie, like Poisoning the Well, with like it was all about just dick jokes and fart jokes and. Yeah, and they had to it was all about spoofing like whatever is currently popular. So they had to shoehorn in the Matrix or 8 Mile or whatever the hell. Yeah. No, they all suck. If it's a spoof in the 21st century, they all suck, guys. Okay, I'm sorry, they all suck. Sorry, I had to go on my rant there, but that's Naked Gun is very good though. Okay, I got that off my chest. All right, Aaron says, talk about vampires and slavery. What are your thoughts? And that actually wasn't bad, I thought. That was a pre-Falcon. Anthony Mackie was part of that. So, yeah, I thought that wasn't bad. I mean, the title itself kind of like, it's like when you see that title, it's like, oh, I gotta see what this is all about.
I'll be right back.
Okay. I think William's still kind of getting his sound repaired. So let me check out more of the comments tonight. Let's see. Spoof movies are my good burger. Yeah, you might say so because they're all terrible. I mean, for God's sake, like Meet the Spartans, it has they have the whole monologue part about just kicking like 800 celebrities down that the bottomless pit, and yeah, there's no focus to any of them now. It's like they're not picking like one thing to lampoon. It's just so scattershot. Yeah, they're all terrible guys. I won't usually do this, okay? But it's like, no, I got to put my foot down.
Wow.
Okay, we're going back to vampires now. We're not going doing this old spoof thing. You guys, you pushed my button there on all the spoof talk. It's like I had to unleash there.
That's hilarious.
The Underworld franchise. I have only seen one or two of them, but and yeah, they didn't really grab me as much. But I mean, I kind of it's like I'm not into them, but I get why they're popular.
The premise of it was kind of cool, but then the first one was good, and then it got crazy. Rise of the Lycans and all that other stuff. So.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Okay. No, you guys are talking too much spoof stuff in the chat. We got to get more back into vampires. Probably start bringing up comments again. Because you guys are dying on this hill of like the misunderstood masterpiece of the scary movie franchise. So gotta get off that. Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunters. Yes, it was.
It was decent. A lot of people bashed that movie, but it was.
I remember I like it more. It was one of those ones where it's like I didn't like it as much at the time, but it's like kind of revisited later. It's like, yeah, this is better than I remembered. So, and just just the title itself is one of those ones where it's like it's so grabbing. It kind of the alternate history of that.
I think I have that. That's a graphic novel, isn't it?
Yeah, that was based on a graphic novel. But going back, on the topic at hand with vampires again, it's like, I mean, I think obviously for how's it going, Ray?
All right, yeah, hit the like. Where are we at? Yeah, we got our 20s and stuff last night, but
yeah,
the struggle, man. It's small. We're at 4.
Going back to the topic again, vampires. I mean, of course, we got one guy in the thumbnail there. That's probably a favorite for a lot of people. It's certainly the sci-fi center demographic. A lot of it would be, of course, the Blade franchise, both comics wise and movie wise. And yes, Blade. I mean, that I was.
What thumbnail are you looking at there, son?
Oh, that's not Deacon Frost?
No.
Oh, really? Oh, I must have.
I would never put Blade in there because I don't consider that a true vampire movie. But okay.
Really? Okay. Why not? I mean, because it's it's probably very pertinent to the topic. Then, do you think it's more like more superhero than vampires?
Pretty much. That's why, because that's what he played as a superhero.
Okay, so it's kind of like
yes, technically, yeah. But that's what I was saying the other night. So who I have in the thumbnail is Nosferatu. Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, Gary Oldman. And who you might have gotten confused, that's Keith Sutherland and Lost Boys.
Oh, okay.
You go down to the bottom, it's Bela Lugosi, and then 30 Days of Night, Danny Houston.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like what we were saying the other night, about like Man of Steel or like Superman. In general, it's like
alien movies,
but the superhero genre really kind of takes precedent.
Yeah. Although to be fair, in Blade's suitcase, most people didn't know he was a superhero. So I guess you could, from that point of view.
Well, yeah, we're getting some people in the comments say it's like definitely a vampire movie, or also, Blade 2 is definitely much more a horror movie than the first one because Del Toro, of course, added so much to that. Well, I've also kind of always said Blade 2 is kind of a covert zombie movie because, the nature of the Reapers, again, they're more akin to zombies than traditional vampires.
Yeah. I guess because I'm a comic guy, I consider him, because he's always been in superhero comics. It's never,
Yeah. Well, and really, it's like up to that point. I mean, Blade was, of course, was far from a mainstream A-list Marvel character. I mean, he I don't think he even had his own book to that point. It was pretty much just Tomb of Dracula and Night Stalkers, right?
Yeah, that and Doctor Strange.
And even that was his appearances are still pretty sporadic, weren't they?
Yeah, he was he was there when Doctor Strange unleashed the Monte formula that killed all vampires, and he didn't die because he was I don't think he drank blood or something. He was only half vampire, but there was other vampires that didn't die because as long as they didn't drink human blood, they were saved from it. But Blade was one of them. But yeah, he's always been introduced into the the context of superhero to me. But that's fine. I mean, he's as far as vampire movies, I wouldn't put him in even in my top 15 or 20. I just think that to me, it's just a Wesley Snipes movie. That's all that movie is to me. Is Wesley Snipes playing a vampire,
or as Eric points out, a half vampire.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so maybe that raises a kind of a pertinent question when you have kind of that when you have like something that's a superhero movie that that it has elements of something like alien Asian invasions or vampires, it's like how am I trying to put this? Is like what's the percentage of like the genre hybridity that needs to lean one way or the other for you to say it's either superheroes or vampires or horror or zombies or aliens?
It's what the character is too. I mean, like Superman is a superhero, predominantly. He has alien heritage, but it's not necessarily the predominant theme of his story. It's and when you look at Blade, it's a vampire story. I mean, I just I just never thought of it. I don't think of it that's why I didn't put it on my thumbnail. But generally, it's a Superman is a superhero. He's predominantly recognized as a superhero alongside him being an alien, but it's a superhero. He comes from the superhero genre.
I think you could make a better argument for Blade as a vampire movie than Man of Steel as as an alien movie.
You definitely can.
But
I just like I said, after the first Blade, the second Blade was all right, but I was like, I just never was into him.
I love the first two, but I kind of leave that.
The third one is a complete joke, but I'm not even.
Yeah. Well, also speaking of the thumbnail, Ray also is a big fan of Lost Boys.
Oh, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who that's their favorite vampire movie.
In fact, actually, that was because that was Joel Schumacher, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Joel Schumacher.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like before, of course, we went to the Batman.
This
chair.
is 1987 was when that movie was released.
Yeah, I can imagine. It doesn't mean I think it should happen. Or if it should, like, you give it to like competent people and who can actually know how to, tell humor or tell jokes.
Watch that get made before.
Oh God, that would suck.
That'd be hilarious if you got a spoof.
See, I love the first fight scene of Blade and Nomak. Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too. Is like Blade is also the first two anyway, because they're also very steeped in like Hong Kong action movies. So that's
Black
another.
Rain. There's a lot of Black Rain in Blade.
Yeah, so you can Blade is it's you can cut it like so many different ways where it's like vampires, superheroes, martial arts, horror.
There's mafia,
zombies. Yeah. Oh, it's more Ray bringing this back.
Technically not a vampire though.
Now, are you talking about within the context of the movie itself?
No,
or,
period. He's not a vampire. He's well. I mean,
he feeds on you through the little suction cups in his palms. So
I mean, in the comic, Morbius they made it a point. They said the living vampire is what they call it, but then he's not a vampire. You see what I mean? He's like, even Dr. Strange said you're not really a vampire. And then they kind of joke, "Well, I just like the name," but because he was a guy who, just like in the movie, he experimented. Except he experimented on himself like that, and that's how he got his powers. And he would help. He actually was pretty useful in fighting Dracula because he couldn't fall under his spell because he wasn't a real vampire.
And William's gonna love this. As far as like, it's similar to what you said about like Batman the animated series, as far as like kind of defanging a character who was has like a really dark edge to him. But when they had Morbius on Spider-Man the animated series, he didn't drain people of their blood; he drained them of plasma. So it was kind of to make it a little bit more child friendly.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
Okay, that makes sense because I've read a whole lot of Morbius comics, and the one wherever I've seen him comics wise has always been with Spider-Man involved. But
yeah, he's fights Spider-Man, but he's in control, but he's not really a villain per se. It's the plasma. Unlike a vampire who's just outright wants your blood, it's his plasma that
takes the plasma out of your blood.
Yeah, because that's what he needs to supplement what his body transforms in a bad way.
Well, in the movie, of course, they do the whole thing where it's like, okay, now he's drinking like this purple blood substitute.
Yeah.
So
and that's what he would do in the comics. He didn't want to kill. He didn't want to. He wasn't evil. He just,
By the way, also, anybody who's not familiar with this story, the first Blade, I'm sure everybody's like seen on the DVD, but if you haven't, they had that alternate ending where Deacon Frost, like, once he's merged with La Magra, he turns into kind of this giant towering blood monster. But Blade, defeats him with the EDTA. It's a little bit different, but how he goes about it. But then he and Karen Jensen, they go out on the roof, and she says, "Hey, do you want to take this cure?" And he says, "No, I got to hold on to my vampire strengths because they're such an advantage to me. So just make you a better serum." And she points off in the distance, says, "Well, you're on the clock again." And they see this hooded figure in the distance. And so that's another, and Blade's like, "Oh shit, I got to break out my sword again." And the idea with that was they were planting the seeds. The intent was if we do a Blade 2, that guy is going to be Morbius. But for whatever reason, they decided to, they went back on that. They decided to make a Nomak the main vampire antagonist of Blade 2. But again, they were planting the seeds for Morbius kind of early on there.
I'm glad that never really happened because I just didn't never like that matchup. They came together, but it never was really part of his story like that. Deacon Frost was perfect. That's what made that one good. Stephen Dorff did a great job with it. But after that, I just didn't. This movie's never hit with me.
But Azteca, like I said. So
yeah.
Let's see. Morbius and Jon Stewart have something in common. What's that? Sure. That they were in alternate endings from different superhero movies. Is that what you're saying?
But that was pre-me MCU though, so
yeah. Let's see who else we got. Aaron says, speaking of Black History Month, Day Shift. Yeah, I like Day Shift a lot because that's Jamie Foxx. Anybody who hasn't seen it's on Netflix. It's he's part of this underground organization of vampire hunters. They call them vamps in the movie, but so he's in kind of a tight spot. He's trying to reconcile with his ex-wife and his kid, but he uses his career, his ostensible career as a pool cleaner that's really a front for his vampire hunting occupation. I did enjoy that a lot, and of course it had my man Scott Adkins in it. As one of the
we need to get this. I need to interview this guy because I know why you're afraid to come on camera now because there's probably like all these posters and action figures and Atkins blow up doll right behind you on the TV where it is. Because you see that? Can you? Hey, without looking, name all of his movies. Can you name all of his movies?
See, he did Undisputed 2, 3, 4. He did Ninja 1 and 2. He did Day Shift. He did Triple Threat. He did Accident Man 1 and 2. He did Avengement. What else did he do? He's got coming up Skyline Warpath. He was in Expendables 2. Let's see. Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning. Yeah, I could go on.
This is like a man crush thing going on with this guy. We got to get him on the show now. If I hear one more damn.
He's my record for interviews. I've interviewed Scott 8 times. That's the most I've interviewed anybody.
Yeah, I remember this movie didn't come out too long ago.
Yeah, it was like
we did a
2020.
Netflix promo for this.
Yeah. And by the way, Spider-Man, if you're Michael Jai White's his second place. That I've interviewed him 6 times. So, but yeah, that was he was one of the Nazarian brothers of this duo of vampire hunters that kind of team up with him in the middle of the movie. Yeah, Day Shift. I enjoyed that a lot.
It's actually on Netflix.
It is a comedy, so that's going to obviously that would grate on William's nerves.
Wasn't great on my nerve. I don't gravitate towards comedies. There are some that kind of straddle the line, but I am what I am. I am sorry. Yeah.
Let's see. Fourth also says, speaking of Black History Month, Underworld.
Thought we bought that one up at the beginning.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, yeah. Let's see.
I bought a Blackula first. Damn it.
We got a little bit of a back and forth on Blade Trinity now in the comments. So,
oh Lord, Blade 3. Fourth is 100% right. You know what? Every now and then, even the blind dog finds a bone. There you go. I can't even put it. I can't even come up with a better term than what he did. It is though. That movie's fucking horrible.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why we haven't had a Blade movie for 20 years since then. We had the TV show, but I mean that was okay. It wasn't.
That show actually wasn't bad. It was just shows like that at that time just weren't going to last.
Well, it was on what was at the time Spike TV.
Yeah, Jessica Gower. I remember her.
Yeah, but
vampires.
Blade Trinity. No, it's like no. It's hot shit garbage. That's no other way I can describe. And I know Chappie. It's like you're that's one of your guilty pleasures. Hey, listen, man. I mean, have at it, but it's like but we are not doing a watch party on that.
No. Not I get to get up and leave. I'll find something else to do. There's certain movies
you'll schedule it during like the busiest day of the year,
like pre-comic book day. Hey, let's do that one.
You'll live stream, have a debate, spoof. What's there to debate? I mean,
I'm out of that one because I can't help you. I can't help either side there.
Let's see. 30 Days of Night is an insane vampire movie. Yes, it does.
All 3Ds. Decapitation, death, dismemberment, everything, destruction. I mean, they destroy the town. They have to. I love the way they eventually, he has a battle at the end with the main vampire, but he uses the ultraviolet light to burn them too, because there's no sunlight. So he figures out a way to get, so apparently that does it to him too.
Yeah. So, anyway, I got the list of a lot of vampire movies on Wikipedia up here, so I'm gonna list off a few more. I actually forgot to bring this up in the chat, but well, not this one, but I have not seen the 30 Days sequel. It sucked. Okay,
it sucked.
But somebody else, I forget, was brought up in the chat. Dracula Untold, because that was initially going to be like the starting point of what the intended dark universe, but they decided to make that the Mummy, and that kind of speaks for itself. But I remember seeing that. It's like it was it just didn't grab me that much.
It wasn't very good.
Yeah, it wasn't it hit me, unfortunately. See what else we got in oh, here's a good one. Here is a really good one as far as like vampire movies. Maybe not a good one, maybe more like a guilty pleasure one, because it's it's fun. It's a Halloween movie for me, but it's not. I wouldn't call it like the greatest writing in the world, but it is a popcorn movie. It's Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman.
Oh yeah, not his best work.
Oh no, his worst work. Stephen Sommers. As director, his worst work is The Mummy Returns by far. But, Van Helsing, it's like I like the idea behind it. The idea of like bringing all like all the Universal monsters, where it's like Dracula and Frankenstein and the Wolfman. So it is again, it's goofy as hell, and it's like it falls into the same trap of like The Mummy Returns of having like the the rules, like the video game rules format, where it's like, okay, the way you beat the final boss, you got to do this, but first you got to find this, and then you got to pair that thing you found with this, and you got to open it like on the stroke of midnight, like that kind of thing. So it's like that gets kind of tedious, but it's like I do have a soft spot for Van Helsing. Oh, Chappie, come on, man.
Dude, come on, man.
That is the hottest take you could possibly have for Blade, I think. But
Dusk Till Dawn is a that's a vampire movie, but wow, it feels like something else. it feels, dude. That movie, and Selma Hayek, by the way, that's where she became immortal.
Oh yeah. She hasn't aged a day since then.
You look at her in that movie, her little strip dance, and you look at her in her bikini photos now at 57 years old. Something's up. Something's up. All right, I'm gonna throw some garlic at her, and she should like run. But yeah, that movie it's a vampire movie, but it's just a weird one, man. It's all Tarantino, man, and Robert Rodriguez.
Well, I mean, of course, now Ray also says Renfield. Yeah, I enjoyed Renfield too.
I said that I think before she came in. I did not think I was gonna like that movie. I thought that movie was gonna suck. When I saw the trailer for that, I'm like, this looks like shit. And I actually, because we promoted the movie, so I actually saw it, and he's in 30 Days Tonight. He plays the main guy.
That was actually like I think right before he kind of took his sabbatical from the limelight for like 7 years or whatever it was.
Yeah, it showed up in Oppenheimer. But yeah, Renfield was like I said, I did not think I was gonna like that movie, and it was bloody as fuck. The comedy doesn't ruin the movie. And like I said, I just like the way it opened too. That opening is kind of cool. One of the best openings of a vampire movie.
Well, since we're discussing vampire movies, though, we'd be remiss to not bring up the timeless masterpiece that is, of course, the Twilight franchise. It gave Robert Pattinson a career boost before he became Batman. So, I mean, I guess that's something.
I have no words for this. I was hoping that we would stick to like the real vampires and not ones that.
See, the thing is too, is like because I know, and I have a number of lady friends who were kind of.
I love the way you said "lady friends." Why?
Well, they're ladies who are friends, who knew were really into who they were kind of like the target demographic, during Twilight's heyday. So I've thought about that. Like even they kind of say it's like, yeah, we get it. It's like they're not what strictly speaking we would call good, but but yeah. Actually, if you haven't seen, also Film Junkie did a really hilarious live stream commentary with a Wonder Meg on the first Twilight. Go watch that. That's really funny.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
When it has such an awesome thumbnail. Can we bring that up?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the thumbnail is like that made me laugh my ass off when I saw the thumbnail.
Wonder Meg.
Here it is. So yeah, wow. Film Junkie Wonder Meg, you're getting a little bit of a shout out from us tonight here, guys. Let me see. Got so many comments. I've seen. Come on, open. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, there it is. So this is the thumbnail for that one. This is the thumbnail that they did for that.
Yeah. When did they do this? This was a couple years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is like 2 years ago when they did that one. It's the perfect thumbnail for it. So yeah, go give that a watch, guys, because that is a very funny commentary they do for Twilight.
Yeah, and like I said, it gave daywalking vampires a bad name because the vampires in Dracula. It's funny though. In most of the traditional vampire movies, if you go out in the sunlight, you die, right? But that's not actually true as far as the
sparkle in Twilight.
Well, no, if you go into Bram Stoker's Dracula, he walks around in the daylight. He just doesn't have all of his powers, and he's weak. He walks around when a vampire walks around in the daytime. He's weakened. He doesn't have all his metaphysical and supernatural powers, but he can walk around in the daytime. But they lose strength when they do it, but they can. They don't blow up and turn into sand. But that's kind of cool.
That's I can.
True Blood, by the way, it's not a movie, but True Blood. I know True Blood was horribly written. It was basically vampire porn.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
I can absolutely assure you this is not our next watch along, Chappie.
No,
Even if we didn't have Batman v Superman slated, it's like that would not be our next watch along.
But yeah, Alexander Skarsgård's in there. I mean, before he played the Northman. I love that series. It was complete bullshit, but it was fun. And it was no vampires.
How's it going, Vince?
Hi, Larry.
Let's see what else. Twilight Batman.
That's what a lot of people thought when he got casted. Oh, Sparkle. Batman's gonna sparkle.
Well, it's I mean, it was the same thing they thought with Ben Affleck was announced, or they thought they'll
the Joker. Brokeback Joker. Oh, I heard all those. Yeah, I laughed when I heard it. I'm like, Heath Ledger, are you fucking serious? What a joke! And then I heard when I saw that trailer, this was before I even saw him, because they put out the trailer where it's just Batman riding around the city on the motorcycle, and you can hear the Joker talking in the background, and it just sent chills down my spine. And then when I saw him, what he looked like, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And then, like I said, first 15 minutes of that movie, I'm like, this guy's going to win an Oscar for that year.
Yeah,
it's all I needed to see. And he, throughout the movie, I mean, and it's just so sad he did not live to enjoy that, you know?
Yeah, sucks. Aaron says Vampires Kiss was fun and also has Nick Cage in it. Yeah, he is actually, I mean, you think about it, Nick Cage is like, you could put him into just about any vampire movie or vampire story, he'd be perfect for it. He actually might make Twilight somewhat more watchable. Because he would know what he's in, so he's like, screwed. It's like, I'm going to add like
Nicolas Cage. He wouldn't even play it.
Yeah. See what else in there, but I think there's another one I forgot to bring up, but I did see somebody mention earlier. As far as like the impact of vampire lore, of course, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That is actually, I like that movie. We're actually going to do a shadow cast of that.
The movie or the TV show?
We did that. We can no longer. Here's the funny thing about that. We did Once More Revealing. We did it like we did Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah,
we were very successful at it. After the originals writer's strike in 2008, we were not allowed to do it anymore.
With the show?
Yeah, no, we weren't able to do that episode anymore. As far as like, because it was they weren't getting residuals. Fox wasn't going to pay them residuals for when we were doing it, like Rocky Horror. So we couldn't do it anymore, and it was us and another group in town, or not in America, called Uncool Kids, and they were doing it. I had a guy dressed up as Sweet, and he, when he changed the suit from red to blue, we had people rip it off of him, Velcro. We loved it. I have it on DVD too. We were only able to do it a couple of different times, but since we can't do that, I'm crafting a Buffy the Vampire Rocky Horror type deal. With our own music and our own stuff, so that we can do it without any copyright infringement. So,
okay. Yeah, because I know a number of people who were big Buffy fans. So I've seen the first maybe 2 or 3 episodes, because after Avengers came out, people told me, "Oh, we should check out some more of that guy's work."
I've only watched the one episode over and over. I've seen other episodes of it, and the sitting around. But because we did that episode as a production, I memorized that episode from front to back. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So I took the plunge on it. It's like, and I got a little bit into it. I decided it wasn't for me, and I mean, no harm, no foul. It's just it just wasn't my bag. So,
no.
But I know it has obviously a very very to this day a very it has a very massive fandom, and like my friends, colleagues, and people who are. To this day, it's like it has left quite a imprint on both kind of general fandom and like vampire fandom specifically. So,
it's weird because it wasn't just. I mean, it's not vampires all the time. It's the movie is vampires, but she fights all kinds of stuff in that show. I mean, she fights vampires. She falls in love with a vampire. But she fights all kinds of shit, the manner of shit in that show.
Yeah. So, but I won't get into the guy behind it, because I know that people I know who are big Buffy fans, that is, that has caused.
And you know what?
Heartache to that, but it's like, I would never tell anybody throw your Buffy boxes in the fireplace.
Yeah, that's. I mean, like I said, I can, respect the art, but even if I've gotten different, different opinion of what the artist is now. Like I said, Roman Polanski, made some great movies. Kevin Spacey did great movies. I'm not going to take away, Usual Suspects and American Beauty from him and Seven and all these other great performances. Because, like I said, my relationship with him begins and ends at that screen. So,
yeah. Chappie. Okay, I guess I should bring this one up because it's just the elephant in the room. Brad separate the from the artist. Joss Whedon's a dick, but the dude. Well, it's just what I'm saying.
That's what I just said. I didn't even see that. Wow, I'm sharing the same brain as Chappie tonight, and I agreed with Worth 1000. What the hell?
Let's see. Hell must have frozen over. But like I said, and putting that aside, it's like again, like after Avengers came out, it's like I did because my friend Ashley is a really big Buffy fan, so at her encouragement, I did start to investigate the show. But it just wasn't my thing. It just wasn't up my alley. And
yeah, I couldn't watch I could watch certain episodes, but like I said, I was in that one episode because of the musical. And a lot of people, we got tired of doing Rocky Horror Picture Show, so we wanted to do different things. We did a lot of we did Repo, the Genetic Opera. We actually did, believe it or not, I did a shadow cast of Night of the Living Dead. And I had exploding brains and everything. And when they would shoot one of the zombies, I would have the brain matter. We had this mechanism when we built, we had bloated top ramen and everything, and we put it into these little things, the little soda things. So when they shot, and it would shoot the blood in the thing. We also had a cake, when the kids die in the truck and the zombies are eating their remains, we stopped the movie and we had a cake shaped as the innards and the remains, and we stopped and the audience could eat out of it. We had a brain cake so that we could eat off of that too. It was cool.
Well, and going back to the separate, I even have a little bit of an issue with the phrasing it like that too, because I don't even really feel compelled to do that unless the artist in question has done something or crossed such a line where it's like I'm somebody who's like the way my abiding philosophy is you have to give people the latitude to screw up and the latitude to. I mean, there are people who I'm big fans of who have whole political beliefs or different things that are radically I just outside of that I just not on board with. But I know people in my personal life too. They're the same way. It's like you have to, but I feel like you have to treat people as you have to regard people as people. You have to see their humanity, and you can't just see them as just this other or this enemy because of X, Y, or Z difference. So it's like my bar for quote unquote canceling somebody is actually very high, because it's like if it's not, then it's like you're going to be canceling a lot of people before lunchtime. But yes, with that particular individual, yes, he is very much on that list though. And yes, of course, I've kicked off something in the chat here about that. So yes, the Avengers is still very awesome. And yeah, you mentioned this, Aaron, you're a big Buffy and Angel, but yeah, that's
well, here's the thing. Did you have fun when you watched it?
Yeah, that's what I would say. I would almost say too, it's like don't let him ruin that for you if that was something that's so near and dear to your heart.
I mean, like I said, Jeff Johns. I like Jeff Johns' work in some cases. And there's some shit I don't like, obviously, and I've stated that. But when he's good, I like the Three Jokers. And I think the Three Jokers is some of the best shit he ever did. And he wrote that. No, I think that was fine. And he wrote other stuff that was fine. It's when he did not have adult supervision and they just let him do whatever, and he started assuming roles and things. He's not a filmmaker and he had no business there. So things like that, but that's not going to take away from some of the stuff that he did.
The Woody Allen. It's like he's got. That situation.
These are accusations too. These were never.
Yeah, that's also so. But I mean, people will fall pretty hard either direction, whether they think the accusation would carry any weight to them or not. But it's like, again, and that's what he's accused of is something it's very, very horrendous. So. But again, the way the phrasing it that way, separate the art from the artist. It's like the point where I phrase it like that, it has to be something where it's like I want to just cut off from them as a person, and it's like it takes a lot to get me to do that. It's like it takes some serious transgressions, and because I feel like, you have to have the bar that high, or you're going to be cutting it off from a lot of people, a lot of artists, a lot of great work. So yeah, I got that off my chest there. But yes, any other big? Let me go back to the Wikipedia here about other vampire movies and shows that are pretty iconic. Oh, here's a good one. You guys probably never seen this one, but it was one I saw. I was probably like 18 or 19. It's most definitely in the like B movie category where they made it for like $10. It's a Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter.
I heard of that, but I never saw that.
Yeah, it's not it's not strictly speaking what we call good, but it's it lives up to the schlock that you would kind of expect to see for something like that. I mean, there's one part in where he has this fight scene in this park with there's like 50 people that just come out of this one like Jeep. Yeah, it's goofy as hell, but it's it's for what it is. It's it's pretty fun. So, you haven't seen Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter, give that a look. What else we got here on the vampire watch list? There was one I don't know if anybody in the chat is familiar with Don the Dragon Wilson. There was one he did called Night Hunter. I thought was pretty good. Again, it's a low budget one. It came actually a few years before Blade, but just it's a guy doing kung fu against vampires. You get your money's worth out of that. Well, thank you, Fourth. thank you for adding that little bit of humor there. What else is here? Twins Effect. That's one from Hong Kong. That wasn't bad. Yeah, you guys got any other favorites of yours? Yeah, did you see this one for Fourth here? Have you seen Cocaine Christ? No, because I just made it. Yeah, Fourth went back to being Fourth. Oh yeah, I can still listen to R. Kelly music despite music. Yeah, and again, R. Kelly, like he meets that standard of what I'm saying, where it's where you cross the line to an extent where it's like I want nothing to do with you as a person at this point. You've listened.
Sometimes music, especially with music, the music and the songs mean more to people than the actual musician does. So
yeah, one to this day, like people are still go back. There's still so much debate over Michael Jackson's accusations, but he could sell out a concert if he were still alive. He could sell it out in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then go to court the next day and settle one of these things out of court. So,
yeah, he could sell about posthumously. I mean, they just have like this.
Yeah, he's making a lot of money dead. By the way.
Oh yeah, he's
him and Freddie Mercury. Him and Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, he, Freddie Mercury, and Tupac Shakur.
If Tupac releases another album, I'm going to start looking for him. I'm going to Harmon and Kowal and be like, okay.
Oh, okay.
You're releasing more shit dead than you ever did alive.
Oh, that Chris Rock had a great joke about that in one of the stand-up ads where he talks about. Now, the crazy thing about Tupac is that every year he comes back from the dead. He releases a new album with clues in it.
Yeah,
it's like the brother in the red shot me dead right there.
He was a fool with the Mac 11. Yeah. I mean, hell, we now know who did it. We actually knew who did it, and like the dude is like, now he's pleading not guilty. I'm like, dude, how you gonna plead not? You wrote a book about it. What are you gonna do? I'm like, I mean, he had a bail hearing. I'm like, let him out. He's too stupid. Come on, where's he gonna go? I mean, come on. No, I don't know.
Yeah, another one I pulled up here was I don't know if you guys in the chat have seen this. Is one Paul Bettany did back in 2011 called Priest. That was I thought that was
Vision did a vampire movie, yeah?
Oh yeah. Well, this is back when he was still Jarvis. But yeah, that was I mean, it's based on a Korean manhwa. It's pretty loosely based on it, but it's got its own version of vampires. It actually opens with like an anime kind of sequence, and it's in this post-apocalyptic future where vampires have conquered the world, and you've got people huddled in these Blade Runner kind of cities. And the priests are kind of like this warrior order now, that the defense society from the vampires. So yeah, I thought it was bad. I did enjoy it. I liked it quite a bit. Vince is backing me up here too.
Yeah, he also says Vampire in Brooklyn was good.
I think you brought this one up too, William. Sean Watson, they had 20 rape allegations against him with to play to the football field, and they cheered for him.
Yeah, gave him $238 million. So I mean, at some point, it's up to each consumer to make up their own mind, and they made theirs up. And his big ass went out with an injury into the season. So
imagine. Oh, fourth. I don't know if should I have brought that up?
I mean, I guess you can write a book. Eventually, you're going to get caught like 20 years later. I mean,
what did you think was going to happen when you wrote the book, you idiot?
Well, and plus, the LAPD knew it was him. They just couldn't get the biggest problem with catching the killer, anything like that, was Vegas Metro. Just the conspiracy theory, and it actually makes a lot of sense. Is that at the time in the mid '90s, we had just gone through the OJ thing, and Vegas and the city just didn't want to go through that. They did not want that attached to it. They had spent all this money with bringing families here, Treasure Island, MGM Grand, Circus, Adventure Dome, all this. They didn't want that on the image. So they never pursued the cases, what a lot of people said, because it happened here. So even though LAPD had everything that they needed, it happened in this jurisdiction. So there wasn't anything LAPD could do. But LAPD had a good idea who did it soon afterwards, because gangsters talk. And he's the last living person, did it, but he wasn't the actual shooter. Orlando Williams was the shooter. Orlando Anderson was the shooter, I think his name was, and he could die 2 years later in a shootout, a gang shootout. So they had a good idea this whole time, but they couldn't, for what they were saying is that Metro wasn't working with them because Metro wanted no part of all of it, but it ended up becoming like folklore. I mean, Tupac and Biggie, who killed him, and it's like, he's killed on Harmon and Koval. I don't know if for those of you who ever been in Las Vegas before, we're not talking about the backwoods here. We're not talking about Mayberry. We're not talking about the Prairie or something. Harmon and Koval is the Strip. I can't go on the Strip and do a misdemeanor without Metro being up on you. Somebody got shot on, and you if you go by a Harmon and Koval, it's a busy. It's the Strip. I didn't think anyone could ever get killed on the Strip and not get caught within 2 minutes. They shot him, drove through Saturday night Las Vegas traffic. Not in the city, not in the town, not in Ogden, Utah, not somewhere after dark. After a Tyson fight near Las Vegas Boulevard, packed traffic, and they got in and out of that after killing somebody. Come on, man. You got to solve that. But once again, they just didn't want, Vegas was very protective of its image in the mid-'90s. Still is in a different way, but, but back then we were like, how does that happen, man? I mean, these guys catch people, in the deep hood, with no witnesses and nobody talking. They get people, and you couldn't get nobody said anything. Nobody saw that. I'm like,
Chris Rock, he has a good joke about that too. The guy that's just a fall guy is the real one.
No, the guy who did it is dead.
Yeah, the
guy who did the shooting is dead. The guy that they've known who did the shooting died like 20-something years ago. He's under indictment for. He's the one who gave the order to do it because of what happened at the Bruce Sullivan fight. What did Forrest say? What happened?
Oh no, I was just saying that that's also watch that same stand-up routine. Chris Rock has some jokes about that too, about how they can't, about how like Biggie's shot so out in the open. It's like, oh, we can't figure out who shot the yeah.
Yeah, he's like, all right, he was there. Tupac was shot in the Strip. I mean. One of the most famous streets in America. And I'm like, come on.
Well, you got to write a book, I guess, to get caught. Let's see. Right, Aaron's got a couple others this year. Vampire Brooklyn is amazing.
There
And
you go.
Says an interview with the Vampire and Queen of the Damned were fun and cool. Vampire and Queen of the Damned. That was actually wasn't.
That was
Didn't that
Aaliyah.
have, yeah,
That
that was
was
like
she died.
right before she died. Yeah.
Yeah, on a plane that
And
was loaded with too much luggage.
Yeah. Well, she was like only 23, wasn't she?
Was she that old?
Yeah, she was just like really just hitting her
She was
stride.
she died in September. You know what though? She died in September of 2001. I think about a week before September 11th.
Yeah, August 25th. Yeah, she was 22.
Yeah, she literally died a week before September 11th. That movie wasn't very good.
Oh, she actually I knew her best from when she was a Romeo Must Die with Jet Li. So probably the thing about that is
I knew her best from being part of the R. Kelly situation.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. And Queen of the Damned soundtrack is top notch.
Yeah, that's a tragic death that didn't need to happen. Listen, celebrities, stop doing this propeller shit. All right, get the jet aeroplane. It does. Look, all these celebrities that have died in these planes. It's listen, JetBlue for me is splurging on it. I can't imagine if I had any amount of money, I'm not flying on a rotary shit. Hey, William, we need to get you from place to place. Where are we flying? Well, we have the single engine. No, we don't. You get me a jet airplane with turbines. Where if a bird takes out one engine, we got 3 or 4 more of them a month. We're jet airplane. I want a stewardess on there. I want walking room, jet airplane. All these celebrities that have died with these things, and I'm like, you got them. You got to live. Except for Payne Stewart, he was on a jet and he lost pressure. But John Denver, Leonard Skinner. I mean, John F. Kennedy Jr. flying to a wedding, dude. You're a Kennedy. Well, you got a jet. There's a jet that says Kennedy on it somewhere. I mean, look, who else? All these guys that are Richie Valens, the Big Bopper, all these people flying, and they were flying in bad weather. You just name it. All these people in these John Denver died because the fuel gauge on his wasn't working, so he thought he had more fuel. No, you know who's going to know how much fuel we have on an airplane? The pilot in the jet aeroplane. Listen. I'm not flying myself anywhere. Who's an expert pilot? No. I want the guy. The guy who's flying me. I want him. That's all he does. I don't want the guy who's like, popping out an album and then getting on the plane and flying the plane. No. If I know you by name, no, you are not my pilot. Sorry. Aaliyah, all these people. You just look at the people who died in these planes, man. And that listen, I know people are afraid of flying an airplane sometimes. But guess what? You have a better chance of getting struck by the lightning through your eye socket than a jet airplane going down. So yeah, man.
Let's not get the apprehension, but if someone offers me a helicopter tour of rainforest or something like that, I'm like, yeah, go. I can't live. Okay.
No. Listen, I voluntarily gave myself over to the government for awful things that happened to me in war, if that were the case. So I'm not living in fear, but there's precaution. Okay, I'll get into a helicopter pilot, a helicopter with a helicopter pilot. I'm not getting in a helicopter with Brad behind the chair. No, we're not doing that. I'm not flying a helicopter. There's a difference between fear and precaution. We have it in the military. We go out with things that can blow us up, but we wear armor. We wear all kinds of stuff. All right? I'm not letting my neighbor who's never been in the military say, hey, you know what? Let me play around with these wires and this cable. I'm like, no. Jet aeroplane. If my broke ass can get on JetBlue and stuff myself into the 1.5 square foot that I have to fly to San Diego in, then you rich folks can get on a jet airplane, man. What's going on? Tom Cruise, listen, I knock on wood for you every day because you're just crazy. You're just crazy. That's a different thing. But these other guys, man, I'm like, no. There's so many. There was like a documentary or something. All these people that have accompanied, and they're not jet planes. It's like I said, fear is not flying at all. I just want to fly in something that's going to get me there, and the pilot cannot be a friend of mine.
Well, I mean, it is, now I should point out that I am actually I am actually a licensed helicopter pilot. I just got my license about 15 minutes ago, so like we should.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. How you doing, Daniel Martin? Yeah, man. I'm like, isn't it astonishing? No, I mean, there's a whole bunch more people. I just can't think of them all. But if you look at people who have died by Ric Flair almost got killed in one of those damn things, flying from one wrestling duel to another. I'm like, whoa, no. And then when I flew from Fort Sill, I remember when I went to basic training, we had to fly into Oklahoma from Dallas. So we flew on I had no choice. I was ordered to. We flew on a plane that literally like 4 or 5 of us fit in it. And I'm like, dude, a strong wind's going to take us somewhere else. So we need to go. And we had people on there that had never flown before, which was hilarious. They had just joined that. They had never left their hometown. So they're on this Cessna and they're throwing up and shit and they're shaking and shit. It's an hour flight. It's an hour flight it does not take that long to get from Dallas to Oklahoma. Not that long. But it was windy. So we had turbulence. So I'm like, you know what? When you're on a plane and it's they turn on the fasten your seatbelt sign, that's when you know you're all right. Well, if there's no fasten your seatbelt sign and the guy flying the plane, you can see him. You can see him. You can see through the cockpit of the plane. I'm like, I am in the wrong vehicle, and we had the option of how we wanted to fly back. And if you paid for it, you could fly to your next duty station, which was Alabama. We had to go back. We had to go from there, from Fort Sill, Oklahoma, their little raggedy airport. But we could, my parents were there, and they could drive you to an actual major airport as long as you were willing to pay for it. My cheap ass slapped out that money so quick and got on an airplane and said, "That's a short flight." I was private pilot at the time. I don't care. I don't care. You take up, they give you your peanuts, you're landing. Good. Jet or airplane or no plane at all. Nope.
Okay. Well,
right.
So that's now.
Thank you, Aaliyah.
Yeah, and actually, I wasn't aware of this. That Daniel pointed out that she filmed scene. I was not aware of that. That she was supposed to be in the Matrix sequels.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that compounds the tragedy. Absolutely. Ford says he can fly a single propeller. Okay.
Yeah.
Rhea is like going to end up in Cannibal Holocaust if she goes down there. And actually, Fun has one kind of related to that. William, if you crash in the rainforest, you teach native tribes about comics and superheroes until they start getting. Okay, we got to stop on that cannibal stereotype, guys.
Okay. No. I would probably, like I said, it probably wouldn't be like the movies. I'd be dead.
Okay, William Rad, what are you going to do if you're stranded on a deserted island and injured with someone who finds a helicopter nearby? You got to trust them to pilot it or rest in peace.
Okay, that's different.
That's an awfully specific scenario.
Yeah, that's an emergency situation. In an emergency situation, of course. These weren't emergency situations. These people had other options. They weren't trapped anywhere.
Yeah, well, as Chappie points out, it's like it's supposed to be. We got a little bit on the airplanes here over vampires, but yeah, going back to fourth. Come on, fourth.
What does that say? Oh yeah, that's hilarious. And what's Scott Atkinson?
Thank you, guys. Anyway, going back to taking it back now to vampires. I don't know. Is there any other? Yeah, I pulled that one up a minute ago.
That's hilarious.
Excuse me, but I think maybe like a pertinent question to ask is like because Dracula is kind of the sort of the predominant sort of character. Like what?
Nosferatu. Nosferatu. That's another one we didn't bring up. The first vampire.
Yeah, well, that's during the Silent Era.
Yep, and they're making a new one too, so I hope it's good.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing I love too about Nomak and Blade 2 and his father Damaskinos is they made them. That he was clearly patterned off of Nosferatu, their appearance, and he even said a little bit about 30 Days of Night too. The vampires they have a little bit of a Nosferatu feel to them.
What's that?
the vampires in 30 Days of Night. They have like a little.
They're very much. If you look at the old White Wolf games, which I really want to get back into, I got a guy who wants to do that. Like I told you before, I love the White Wolf stuff. I really need to get back into that. The Nosferatu was actually a clan that looked like that, and then they were, we got to get back into that. So, sure. That's one. You know what? With Nosferatu, that's one I can just put up on YouTube. I don't have to route it to anywhere. We can just put it up on YouTube.
Public domain, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I was about to ask also. It's like maybe everybody in the comments can kind of sound off too. It's like because Dracula is such a predominant figure within the vampire genre. It's like what everybody's kind of like favorite take on Dracula that you've seen. And that's an interesting one because actually that's one of the reasons why I do like Van Helsing so much because Richard Roxburgh he definitely he hams it up like crazy as Dracula in that. Gary Oldman obviously even though I think the movie just is such a head trip for me, Bram Stoker's Dracula, but he is a very great Dracula, Gary Oldman.
He's a very good. He's been in movies that weren't good. That he like the movie he won his Oscar for. Darkest Hour, where he plays Winston Churchill. That movie's not very good. He's great in it, though. He deserved that award, but that movie's not very good.
I actually thought because the first thing I ever saw him in was Air Force One, so I thought he was Russian the first time I saw him.
He could be anything you want him to be. Gary Oldman legit could be anything. He's been in movies where you can't even recognize him.
Yeah.
The Professional is where I first saw him. Actually, no. It was I saw him in Dracula first. And then I saw him in a Professional afterwards with Natalie Portman.
Yeah, but as far as like other Dracula, it takes on there's a whole Hammer. The Hammer series probably is one of the more like predominant or more
the Hammer was what put him in main because they did a lot. Christopher Lee did a lot of that. A lot of those with Grand Moff Tarkin was in it. He was in a lot of those movies. He actually played Van Helsing too. He actually played Doctor Who, by the way. But that one time.
Yeah.
It was Doctor Who movie. I can't think of his name. Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing. Like I said, he was already old when you're getting up there when he played Grand Moff, but he had already had a distinguished career, just like Obi-Wan's actor, Alec Guinness.
Yeah.
These guys are like Tony Award winning people, and they're like. But they'll always be Obi-Wan and Grand Moff to us.
Let me see what else we got on here. The list. I'm going by the Wikipedia. Hotel Transylvania. That's definitely not William's favorite.
No one knows Nosferatu. What ended up happening is when this movie was made, when F.W. Murnau made Nosferatu, he hadn't gotten clearance from Bram Stoker's widow. Bram Stoker's widow sued him, and he had to take it out of theaters. He never got a chance to get a wide release. And since no one owned it, it fell into public domain because no one claimed ownership of it. No one could claim ownership of it without having to deal with her. And after the copyright, or after different copyright laws back then, after it, people were able to take it up again, but no one owns Nosferatu. There are people who can own different interpretations of Nosferatu, like the 1979 very strange and creepy version of it by Klaus Kinski, who's a very strange and creepy individual. Rest in peace, but wow. Yeah. He made one, and so he owns that version of it. But yeah, the Nosferatu Symphony of Terror is public domain. I've showed it plenty of times here. I showed it on the day it was released 100 years when we still had Fort Bedlam Coffee Shop. I had a piano player there. He provided the musical score. I've done something called Iron Vampire, where I had a local guitarist do a heavy metal soundtrack to it. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah. I bet it sucked.
I don't care. You lost me. You lost me at Steven Seagal.
Yeah, I bet it was absolutely riveting.
Yeah, same elbow breaking move.
Vampires Los Muertos is pretty. No, because there was a little bit of a. I mean, the Carpenter one, the first one, but then they had a couple of sequels. They had Vampires Los Muertos and Vampires the Turning. Actually, I enjoyed that. That was pretty good. But I have not seen Los Muertos.
Neither have I. All right, guys, we're at 13 likes. Please like, subscribe, and share. One of these days we'll get to 500.
Yeah, but with everything Williams saying there about the copyright or the public domain of Nosferatu, it kind of goes back to when we were talking about the kind of the DC pop and copyright speculation and stuff from a few weeks ago, because even when it's stuff that enters public domain, there's still all kinds of fine print to it, like how you can use the character or the IP within public domain, and just because
none of those apply to Nosferatu, believe it or not. Not one of those.
Oh, really?
Not one.
Oh, so it's just free reign. Anybody who wants to make Nosferatu can just go for it. Because
what happened is the creators of it let it. FW Minar and the film company working for, they couldn't do anything with it, and then they just never reclaimed ownership, and it just fell into public domain. So the difference between with what Disney has to go up against, they actually created those, but you can only hold on to a license for 100 years before it falls in. So they, when they have different rules because they can actually claim likenesses and adjusted likenesses of the character, like the character evolving to have gloves and real eyes and his voice and how he talks and all that. They can maintain those likenesses as long as they keep adjusting. But Nosferatu was not owned by anyone. Dracula was the IP that was in conflict. So there's none of those rules apply to Nosferatu. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Neat, huh? I mean, but everything else after that, and that's one of the reasons why they created laws like that for things that fall out of for what's in public domain and what's not in public domain. Like there's Superman cartoons that are part of the public domain because they were never properly. A lot of it has to do with what kind of you have to apply for a copyright every so amount of times, and if you don't, and it falls in the public domain, then you can't get it back. George A. Romero, Night of the Living Dead. That's one of the reasons why Night of the Living Dead is a public domain, because of the way the copyright was mishandled. Dude, we could do a whole stream of that on its own, and having to deal with copyrights like I do, purchasing copyrights and purchasing licenses. I got to be very keen on that shit because I don't want to get sued.
All right. I think. Gosh.
No, I'm pretty sure. I don't know the man. His behavior is a little aberrant, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not number one. Okay. I'm pretty sure I'm on the line.
Well, you can't. I don't even know that he really hates Steven Seagal so much as just like, because again, it's like he's just so up his own ass. He thinks that he is like he is at the level of Schwarzenegger or The Rock or Stallone.
He never was. Exactly. That's the thing. If he had got to that level and then declined, big different story. He never was at that level. He was and if Brandon Lee would have lived, he would have surpassed. I mean, everybody would have surpassed.
He would have gone way past. Yeah, they were not inviting him for John Wick 5, Steven Seagal. We gotta be careful. Okay,
sure.
Be facetious here. Yeah, what else? Yeah, I can't go on another Seagal rant because it's not even a rant. It's just me just bringing up like that. He just sleepwalks through everything he does and thinks that he's hitting a home run every time. What else? Any other? My favorite Dracula in gaming is Castlevania 64.
Okay. One of the hardest video games I ever played. This was back in the day. I think it was Nintendo. I'm not sure. It was Castlevania 3. There was a game hotline that I had to call to. That game was hard as fuck. And I would stay up all night trying to beat that game. And there was just certain moves that were really hard to do. Like there was one where you could change in. You had this character that could change into different characters. And he could do things, and then I would keep falling off this damn ledge. And then there was one where you had to face Alucard, which is Dracula's son, named Dracula spelled backwards. He was hard as fuck to kill because he would turn into bats as you got to him, and then he would reform as Alucard back at you and zap you and stuff. So I would call this hotline. I'm like, how the fuck do I kill this guy? And then the guy helped me out. He's like, because he had played the game. And then these guys at the other end of this line had played every single video game known to man. And he, sure enough, he got me through that game. But man, frustrating. Castlevania 3, man, that game was hard. I was back in 90 something, whatever.
It's Aaron says, well, we could do this. We could do a watch along for Nosferatu just playing on YouTube since no one owns it. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, easily. And we wouldn't have to do anything. We could literally bring it up as one of the share screens. No problem at all.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that reminds me because I don't know if this would be in the exact same category, and I'm not suggesting this as one we should tackle anytime soon. I mean, this would most definitely fall under like a bad movie night, but could that also potentially be doable for the '94, the Corman Fantastic Four? And it's,
somebody owns it. Somebody owns it. It's not public domain.
Okay, yeah. Well, because you can find it all over YouTube. I mean, and it's not exactly one that anyone's like dying on that hill to protect.
Yeah. There's a difference between something being available on YouTube and us getting sued for showing it. And we would probably get sued by Roger Corman.
Really?
And Marvel. Marvel would be first.
Really? Like of all the things that they're going to be, they're going to be precious about, it's going to be that piece of shit.
They don't want it out there.
That is true. Yeah, Zombie Rod tried to destroy the negative, and it's like, but somebody got hold of it and just kind of because it's only available through bootleg, and it's infamously the the one that was just made to hold on to the rights, and yeah. But I thought it had occurred to my mind where it's like what's the copyright status on that? Again, not that I'm recommending that for a watch party, but just like theoretically, if you wanted to do that.
That's a Batgirl situation where it would basically bring down the prestige of the company in their opinion if it were out there, especially if they're working on something better. They don't want that out there.
Yeah. Well, but it is out there is the thing. It's like, I mean,
no, but out there, be at their behest. They would never distribute it. They, like I said, it's available. But trust me, watch this. Once Fantastic Four gets close to being released, you're gonna see that shit disappear. You're gonna see people. You're going to see people getting cease and desist orders and all kinds of shit.
Yeah. Well, they're taking I guess they need to get on Fantastic. But we'll be hearing like casting news like every 6 weeks that never comes to fruition.
I guess Pedro Pascal.
He's been hovering around that for like a year and a half.
No, he's on it though. He's on it because he actually slipped up on his scheduling. Something that he did pretty much indicated, and they've already said he's it. He's Reed Richards. I don't have any doubt. Well, I'm fine.
Well, okay, if he is though, let's like let him come out and say it, and like get the rest of the team together. It's like stop.
No, I don't. Well, because they're probably saving it for San Diego, like they do all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, I mean, if it's okay, you got what 5 months, and then you got to wait till next year.
But there's no. Here's the thought from that: when Fantastic Four comes out, people are going to flock to it. That movie's going to make a lot of money. That movie's going to make a lot of money. That's what people are waiting for. Those are A-listers, man. Handled right, like how Feige likes to handle shit. Not the Chapek Feige, but the actual Iger Feige or whoever's running it at the time. I am looking. Listen, I'm burnt out of MCU. I'm looking forward to FF. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man 4. Like I said, I did the work as a fan and endured Spider Junior or Iron Boy and all that, and I did it. I did not leave you guys. I stayed with you. I want my reward. I want my proper Spider-Man movie, and then X-Men. I mean, and the thing about X-Men is they have a good record with X-Men. Say what you will, those movies were successful. That franchise was successful, and Kevin Feige was one of the producers on those movies. So I'm looking forward to this new phase. I mean, I'm burnt out of the old shit. I got my fill of it. I want to see some of this new shit.
Yeah.
All right. By the way, we have if you want to continue to talk vampires, we can. But we've covered it all. We got an hour and 45 minutes out of that. If you have a vampire question or statement, we can put it in there. But this is now open topic.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, what a way to open topic.
Not crazy shit.
God, that movie's so bad. That movie is so bad.
Now he knows you hate it. Chappie's going to be obsessed with trying to defend it now. You know what? I am out of that one. If he comes out here and wants to defend that, that's going to be a you and him thing. I am not defending that. Well,
it's like I would. Okay. Well, I mean, I really. It's like I don't even know how would you defend Battlefield Earth? I mean,
it was made. There you go. It exists.
Okay, but what?
Yeah, I can't do it. That's why I said I won't be there.
Lots of garbage exists. I mean, it doesn't make it good.
Yeah, I will not be there.
What else we got in the Blood Rain?
Now we're in the game and shit.
because the movie is is horrendous.
Oh, with the chick from Terminator 3 is in there.
Yeah, and it sucked. They also, and I haven't played the game, but I mean, it's like I've seen the movie. And it's terrible. I mean, it's, and I know William was like stood up for the guy somewhat, but it's like it's Uwe Boll. It's like, what are you expecting?
Okay. I stand up for Uwe Boll the same way I stand up for Ed Wood.
Okay.
Some people just not everybody has all everything at their disposal to make these classics that we all know and love, but their movies are out there and they inspire people. I mean, if there had been, you may not have a Tim Burton if you didn't have an Ed Wood, and even Tim Burton knows that. And there's a lot of people who don't make movies like Ed Wood's campy shit, but they make really like movies you wouldn't even expect. This guy watched Ed Wood's. Why? Because they were inspired by the fact that this guy's drive. This guy, all these indie filmmakers. If Ed Wood did his movie with no money and being lampooned while he was making them, then you as a filmmaker can do it with even more than he ever had. So I would defend Uwe Boll in that respect. Is like I said, his movies are out there and they're inspiring people to do other things. Not the quality, but the actual work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Same thing about Tommy Wiseau.
No.
Okay. Talk about Vampires of Blood. How awesome is their blood? Yeah, that was an episode. Well, got the Avatar now. In late in the book 3 of Avatar, because obviously the main elements of as far as bending are water, earth, fire, and air, but there's also kind of just different kind of subsets of bending. Like earth has metal bending, and also they have this kind of horror episode in season 3 where Katara finds this witch who was discovered he's become like the first practitioner of this art called blood bending, which is like in the wrong hands that could be really terrifying, because that you can basically, like, when you're blood bending somebody, you're basically treating them like your own puppet. So but then Katara gains that ability, but she's got the maturity to use it without being a sadist with it. So yes, that would be. I'm wondering, how at what point in the new Netflix show will they touch upon that? Because that could, again, it's a horror moment when they do that, when they bring in blood bending. It's pretty. It's an intense element of it. No pun intended. But yes, also I'll continue to be glad I got Aaron started in Avatar. A great personal accomplishment of mine. When is Snyder Cut coming out? I've heard rumors.
Oh, what are you talking about?
He said, when is the Snyder Cut coming out? So yeah, I've heard rumors, but I'm gonna guess
March 18th, 2021. What do you?
Yeah, no, he's asking when is it coming out. He's being facetious.
Oh,
he's pulling. No, I've heard it's like, I think it might be the next 3 weeks. Don't quote me on that. There's a lot of rumor speculation about it, but also the movie apparently doesn't even exist though.
Okay, all right.
Shaun of the Dead watch along. That could be a good watch along.
That group of guys who made those movies, Simon Pegg was all in that. It's kind of weird. I enjoyed it though. I did a screening of that here.
Yeah, I really dug. Speaking of Nick Frost, I dug in when he was Baji on Into the Badlands. He had a lot of comic relief to that. He's a pretty funny guy.
I tried to watch that show.
Oh, I love that show to death.
I couldn't do it. It just wasn't for me. Because a lot of people recommended that show to me, and I'm like, okay, because I like Highlander. They thought I'm like, oh, I can, all right, sort of.
Well, I'm not sure where like the Highlander connection comes into the Badlands. I mean, other than just the fantastical elements to it.
Hey, I gave it a shot.
I love
it. That was on. What was that? What channel was that on? That was on.
It was on AMC.
It was on what? Yeah, it was on AMC. I watched it through the app.
That's okay. Oh, Azteca, the Waititi. Are you talking about Thor: Love and Thunder? Oh, because I actually, full confession here, guys. I actually have obtained a copy of the Taika Waititi cut of Thor: Love and Thunder. You may not know this, but it is actually floating around out there. And here's a quick clip of it.
Wow.
I know you stick up for the guy, but come on, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Like I said, Jojo Rabbit. For every Thor: Love and Thunder, I'll give you Jojo Rabbit.
Yes, I agree. It's like the Jojo Rabbit bit is the if you haven't seen it, give that a look, guys, because it is that's the type I like. Let's see what other comments we got. Peter Dinklage as Wolverine. I want. Oh, you're talking about like portraying Wolverine like really short because he's canonically in the comics he's 5'3".
Peter Dinklage is smaller than that.
Yeah, he's significantly smaller than that. So I remember like seeing, I forget who this was, somebody who was a YouTuber suggested like in the 90s like Bob Hoskins could have been a good Wolverine as far as like the stature.
I don't remember what he looked like back then.
He's actually my favorite version of Smee and Hook. That was my intro to him. It's like I loved him as Smee. The Attack of the Block is that a vampire movie? Because I have not seen it.
I have not seen it as well.
I think that was actually one of the first things pre Star Wars that that John Boyega did. He's first making a name for himself. But yeah, I've not seen that, so I couldn't really tell you. I've been asking this. Speaking of Jojo Rabbit, have you watched Taika's latest movie next? I have not. Nope.
I haven't seen that one either.
Has it come out in like mainstream release, or is it still upcoming? Or because again, I haven't seen. I couldn't. But yeah, if it's more of the wavelength of Jojo Rabbit, then I will. I'll give that a look. I'll do it. Let's see. Forth says, "Is a Jojo Rabbit when you get your fiance to hook up in a 3-way with the What the hell? What the hell is this comment, Forth?
I don't know, man. No, it's a movie about the Nazis and the Holocaust, and yeah, it's pretty serious shit. Actually, has its funny to it, but it has its elements that remind you that it's where it's taking place.
Yeah, you believe it's okay. Okay, I'll look that up then. Thank you for telling me, Vince. Daniel says, I remember hearing about Bob Hoskins. What did you think about Mel Gibson as Logan? Yeah, I think he can pull off.
All right, guys, we are at 2 hours. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
And Bradley, you're just coming in as we're wrapping it up, man.
All right, Bradley, I will see you later on today.
But yeah, you guys got any other? I think that's you got any other last minute vampire comments? Go ahead and drop them in here.
Yeah, because we've got about 6 more minutes left before I got to put us right at 2 hours. So if you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, please do. We are at. Hold on. That's me talking to myself. 14. So, yeah. 22 people watching now. Some of you already done it. And for those of you who will watch this, which many of you are doing the replay, thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share it as well. Yours counts just as much.
Got Forth. Or Droga, sorry.
I wasn't going to bring that up. I saw it.
Droga. Yeah. See, I think Aztec is not really a fan either. I mean, I agree, guys. Taika is more. He is more than Thor: Love and Thunder, but it's like, but Thor: Love and Thunder is just so. I mean, there's. Again, I liken it to. It's like if Andy Kaufman did a Marvel movie, because it's like, what was Andy Kaufman known for? He was trolling his own audience, and that's what Thor: Love and Thunder was. It was trolling the Marvel audience. Attack of the Bloods is Aliens, I think.
Actually, Attack of the Block, not Attack of the Bloods is Gangster. Nothing.
Have you seen Slaughterhouse Rock? It's not a vampire movie. The main villain kind of looks like one.
A long time ago, like 20.
I have not seen it. No, unfortunately. Queen of the Damned soundtrack slaps. I have not heard it, but I've heard a lot of praise for it. So, yeah, Queen of the Damned I've never seen, unfortunately.
Oh, I saw it.
He says Taika does great when it's original idea. I don't know. You got any thoughts on that, William? Because I mean,
Yeah.
I guess Jojo Rabbit is like again that's the original idea.
Watch what we do in the shadows.
Well, that's also involving vampires, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, again, Jojo Rabbit is legit. It got nominated for Best Picture that year too. So it's and Taika. Oh shit.
Yeah, check your messages. Check your messages. Well,
oh, by the way, this now I still have to keep this under wraps until we get the. But William, at what point can we talk about the thing?
After it's happened apparently.
Okay. Oh, so we can't even say what it is until it's come and gone.
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you, we've there's been some teasing involving like some a thing that William is that's upcoming that we can't say what it is, but it's pretty cool. So that's literally about all we can say about it, is that there's a thing that the Sci-Fi Center is privy to but it's the first I've heard that we cannot say what that thing entails or what it's about or who it involves until after it has taken place.
Yeah, not my rules. Trust me, I really want to say something.
yeah, I'd love to as well because again, I know what this is. That I know what this is. I know what the details, and I'd love to say it too, but I can't. So there you go.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up there. It's been a good show. Been a good last couple of shows. Got a lot of new people on board. Views are up, likes and subscribes are up. We're at 352 currently. Hopefully we'll get to 500 one of these days.
We've got people. No, he's not coming on. We would love it, but he's not. No, we've not reached that point yet.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you know me, it's like if I'm telling you he's not coming on after all the how much leg pulling I've done on that, it's like then it's like you take that at the bank. But no, it is pretty cool. It's like once we can say what it is and all the details pertaining to it, it's like we will tell you guys. And I'm going to be a sadist and enjoy the fact that you guys are going to be signing off tonight, going to bed with torturing yourselves trying to figure out what it is. So
yeah, as soon as I can post about it, I will. So, yes, yeah, that was pretty much indicated. We already knew pretty much probably her and Okada during the same night because they're doing it at TD Bank and it's called Big Business. All the dollar signs, Rainmaker, Money, Monet. Yeah, so he was pretty excited about that. He was like Coney Khan's like a nerd. Unfortunately, my TNA guy was fired. This morning. The president of TNA, I was just at their show a couple of weeks ago. Guy did a wonderful job. We'll talk about that later on though, because I gotta wait and see. I don't like the way it was handled. I hope this doesn't come to bite them in the ass. But TNA was on the uprise. I mean, they just did a great pay-per-view. They just did the rebranding. I mean, hold on for a second because I was reading something on right now. But yeah, they made the announcement of the firing and they didn't even leave the comment open because they knew so many people were going to be pissed. Which was and all the hashtags that we want Scott. I mean, it was a shock. Like I said, Scott D'Amore was let go today, and he's done a great job in bringing that company. You guys who are not wrestling fans might not know, but Aaron's gonna know who he is. All my wrestling buddies are gonna know who he is. The company Anthem Sports, who owns them, decided they were moving in a different direction. I guess he wasn't the kind of guy that they wanted for it. I don't know. They didn't explain. The talent is very pissed. Scott. He's one of those guys that he conducts himself in a way that you want to fight for him, and as a fan, you want to support. You want to support him. And when I saw him in person out here in Vegas, I mean, he was like one of us. You just wanted to see this guy succeeded because he was out there fighting his ass off. And now it looks like the corporation end of it came in and I don't know exactly what or why. Nobody does right now. They gave their statement. Their statement was pretty lame, and like I said, TNA is one of my favorite promotions. So I'm hoping it all fleshes out, because you hate to see that in a company like that. So on that note, let's see. No, he didn't. Like far as I know, he didn't crap on anyone and forcibly sex traffic them. I don't know if it was a corporate philosophy. I don't know. And that's why I've been like hesitant to really speak on it. I'm just upset that it happened because, like I said, this is a guy who with nothing, a nothing budget, built a company back from bones to what it was the other night when I went and saw it. And I didn't see this coming. I don't know if anybody saw this coming. And the press statement that Anthem, the new guy, put out, he said all the right things, but whatever their reasoning was, the problem is whatever direction you're going, there's no way you can't find a place for Scott D'Amore, even if it's just as a ceremony position. He destroyed the morale of that locker room today. Moose, who is their champion, was like, I got to take a couple of days off of social media because I got to put this all together in my head. And there's going to be a lot of people who may or may want to resign. I mean, I hope it doesn't end that way, but oh, that's so nasty. Yeah, he was let go today. Yeah, that's exactly what the whole world said, and we just don't know. So, all right. On that note, Brad, where can I find you?
Yeah, and I just, and that is nasty too. You can find me on Twitter and Vero. You can find me on Facebook and here and there. Check out my wonderful writing about all the stuff we discuss here. And of course, you can find me here on the Sci-Fi Center breaking down vampires, aliens, or whatever the topic at hand is. And of course, whatever it is always my fault. There you go.
All right, and don't forget, this weekend we have
the greatest gladiator match in the history of the world.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you guys who have not gotten linked on it, go ahead and RSVP for this right now so that it pops up when we're about to go live. But I want you, ready before then. So it's in comments, BVS. And we will be playing the Ultimate Cut.
Awesome.
So for those of you who want to be on board for that, there you go. There's thumbnails already ready. So there you go. So this will be fun. All right, guys. And then there you go right there. 998. One of the main reasons you see all the proceeds are going to go to American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. You have 988 right there. I usually bring that up, but here it's already there. If you want to go for the list of things, you can actually go to AFP's website, and it'll break down where all the money goes when people donate. Yeah, the one we focus on a nightly basis is 988 Suicide Lifeline Crisis, 24/7. Call, chat. If you find yourself going down that hole, talk to some people who have gone down that hole and came out alive and came out on the other side. So. All right, guys, that was a pretty fun show. I'll think of some other weird-ass topics for us to talk about. And right now I'm just throwing out the ones that come natural to me. And then every now and then it'll just be an open mic, just where there's no topic, no structure. Those seem to do well as well. So, okay. I will see you guys sometime tomorrow. I don't know how late because I got something going on, but I'll let you guys know. But keep an eye on little alerts, and you'll know. But tomorrow may be the night where I take that break. After 41 straight, tomorrow, depending on how things go, may be the night where I take that break.
Yeah, and William would have reason to. Let's put it that way.
All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
There, guys.